morning, guitar players. Wow, is it a crazy world? But for the next for the next few minutes, we're going to try to take a little break and take some solace in music. How about that? Thank goodness we have music, is all I can say. So I'm going to take a deep breath here and play you one of the most useful, most beautiful, most versatile chord progressions. You've heard it all your life, like we say in the description here for today's Facebook Live event. We're going to use the Nashville number system to understand this progression. But first, let me encourage you to check in the description, and you're going to see some useful information, links to my website, to my YouTube channel, and to the sign up for my free monthly newsletter. Okay, that's probably the most important things. Make sure you're signed up for my free monthly newsletter, because as long as you get my newsletter every month, that'll lead you everywhere else. Okay. Also, I want to make sure that you all know, and if you get my newsletter, you'll know this. I do a Zoom class once a month. Everyone's always invited. What is my class going to be on for January? Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be on the genius of John Prine. And if you've ever heard a John Prine song, and I'll bet you have somewhere along the line, if not a bunch of them, you know that he was honestly a unique songwriter. There are songs that John Prine wrote that I just don't think anybody else could have written. Songs like Angel from Montgomery, Ballad of Sam Stone, Illegal Smile. Really was a national treasure. We lost him to COVID early in the pandemic. Just a real tragedy. Makes me sad about all the John Prine songs that were never going to get written, are never going to get written now. Anyway, that class is going to be Wednesday, January 20th, Wednesday in the evening, 6:30 to 8 p.m. Central Time. So you're going to want to know about that. So sign up for my newsletter, because I actually am about to write my January newsletter. And if you sign up today, you'll be sure and get that newsletter. And you'll not only hear about our John Prine class on January 20th, but all sorts of other cool, fun, interesting things. So anyway, so glad you decided to join me for this Facebook Live mini guitar lesson. I do this every Thursday morning, 9:45 a.m. Central Time. We just take a few minutes and learn some cool thing on the guitar or about music. And so today, I told you we're going to work on this chord progression that is honestly one of the single most important and common chord progressions, I mean, probably for centuries, okay? I'm not a good historian, musical or otherwise, but really, we've all heard this our whole lives. So in number terms, this progression is 1, 6 minor, 2 minor, and 5. Now, right this minute, and I'll play it again in a second, I'm in the key of G, and that's just kind of my default key on the guitar, because for most people, that's probably their first guitar key that they learn and get comfortable in. And it just is such a guitar-friendly key. But of course, the whole idea with the number system is you can apply those numbers to any key you want. That's the beauty of it. And if you're new to the Nashville number system, you're going to want to go back in the archives of these Facebook Live mini guitar lessons and find the one that talks about the Nashville number system, or anywhere else out there on, Ask Mr. Internet is the best thing ever. So here we are in the key of G. And in the key of G, of course, 1 is G. That's kind of the whole idea of the numbers. So there's my 1 chord. And then I go to my 6 minor. By the way, it couldn't be easier. Right now, the way I'm going to go to E minor is I'm just going to pick up the finger that's on the 6th string, and then that's going to open up the 6th string to be an E note, which is kind of all I have to do to go from G to E minor. Maybe you play E minor another way, that's fine. There's a bunch of ways to skin a cat, all right? a bunch of ways to play E minor. Right now, I'm going to do the easy one because why not, okay? That's my 6 minor. 2 minor is A minor. There's a lot of ways to do that. That's one super easy way. I only need 2 fingers. Sometimes I keep my pinky down, left over from the G and the E minor, and that sounds good too. And then 5 is D. Play that any way you want. You can play a plain old farmer D chord. I love that guy. You can play D7. You can play D7 sus with your pinky. So look at that. Your pinky got to stay there, or potentially can stay on that high string the whole time, like this. Okay, love that. Okay, I told you were going to love this. But go ahead and play those chords any way you know them. If you're used to going to E minor like this, that's fine. A minor like that, that's fine. Or plain old D chord, that is a beautiful thing also. All right. This idea of this chord progression is a lot bigger than any particular fingering that we use to play it. Okay. So there are a couple of really big ideas, and we should probably spend a whole mini guitar lesson talking about these in the future. There's a lot to love here. The first thing that happens is we go from the G chord to the 6 minor, and how come we love that so much? Because this E minor is the relative minor of G. Now that sounds technical and boring to you. You're wrong. It's actually beautiful, wonderful, empowering, and fascinating, and a lot of other things. The idea that there's a minor chord that is intimately related to the major chord. So we go from our 1 chord to our 6 minor, and then we take a little ride on the circle of fifths. All right, if you've heard that phrase and just thought that it wasn't important or not worth thinking about, I want to tell you that you're also wrong about that. Okay, sorry to put it that way, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. So this chord leads you to this chord, leads you to this chord, which leads you back to that chord. It's called the circle of fifths, and it's why we love that chord progression. It's like a cascade of resolutions that our ear just kind of craves, and because we crave it so much, we want to hear it again and again and again. And also because this is a 4-chord loop, it makes a beautiful little 4-chord progression that makes a wonderful loop. Our ear loves things in groups of 4 in music. So if you are a songwriter by any chance, and you have not written a song with this progression, I think today is the first day of the rest of your life, and you should write at least 1 song with this in it. So I'm going to play you a couple little things here real quick, just like a second of a couple different songs. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. All right, I know Christmas is over, but that's 1 6 minor, 2 minor, 5. And Tim McGraw and Taylor Swift and John Mayer and everybody else I can think of has songs with this in it, because why would you deprive yourself and your listeners of such a beautiful progression? So anyway, y'all, I hope to see you next Thursday, 9:45 Central Facebook Live. I do this every Thursday morning, so please join me. If you miss it, there's an archive of all my Facebook Live mini guitar lessons. So, I mean, I don't know how many there are now, dozens surely. So you can look through there, all kinds of little bite-sized chunks of guitar fun. Definitely sign up for my newsletter, and think about joining us on our Zoom class Wednesday, January 20th, 6:30 p.m. Central Time for The Genius of John Prine. Meanwhile, stay in the groove.